us to talk more about this landmark verdict that has come in favor of Amazon enforcing the emergency arbitration award in Singapore. Nikhil Merchant, my first direct question to you is, now that this award is going to be enforceable in India, a lot of months have gone by. You have seen how Reliance and Future had said it was not enforceable. We have seen how Future Group's financial conditions, how it has gone about. How do you see this panning out now?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on the show. One has to look at the judgment in detail, which obviously will take some time. But my immediate reaction would be that there has been a plethora of cases in the past few years where India as a country has been doing its level best through the judiciary to ensure that there is minimum indulgence or interference when it comes to foreign-seated arbitration. So I personally look at this judgment one more. It's an additional attempt made by the Supreme Court to ensure to uphold the spirit of a commercial international arbitration, which is seated outside of India, whereby procedurally there was an emergency arbitrators order which has been held as valid. So there has been no interference by the Indian judiciary to kind of topple that particular order. So I think this is a welcome move, though as we would appreciate commercially, the parties against whom the order has been pronounced, they will be quite depressed and quite upset about the whole thing. But from a legal perspective, I think it only gives more confidence to the foreign investors when it comes to Indian judiciary.
So going forward, the only way now is a review petition. So right now, it's an emergency award. I wanted to put that in clarification also for our viewers. How does it work? It's an emergency award that was given. That time, the emergency award was to stop the deal. But like I said, a deal that was announced 12 months back. Now, what do you think is going to happen? Will all the concerned parties have to go in for yet another arbitration?
No. I think this was the interim award. This was an interim emergency arbitrators award, seeking basically if I understand correctly, the emergency arbitrator in Singapore sometime in October last year had given an interim order in form of an award that the deal should not go through, restraining Future Group to go ahead with the transaction. So now, probably the party, if I understand correctly, the party would go back and kind of continue with the dispute, and then the interim award would continue till the final hearing of the arbitration. I don't think there will be another fresh round of arbitration as such, because the Indian courts have really made it very clear that they will not kind of interfere, or they will not kind of consider the interim arbitrators award, the emergency arbitrators award as invalid. So I think the only option left is to go before the arbitral tribunal and try to have the emergency arbitrators award challenged.
Absolutely, the emergency arbitrators award do not progress at this time.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
So now all sides will basically have to sit on the table and push.
I'm afraid the line is not very clear. Sorry. Hello.
My question to you, sir, is that do you think that now it can only be cleared through arbitration, the road ahead, or do you think it can also be languishing in the courts? I'm asking this question on the behalf of employees of Future Group awaiting their salaries, lenders, shareholders.
No, I think the parties have voluntarily chosen to resolve all disputes in arbitration seated in Singapore. And in that context, I think this was only the first step taken by Amazon in terms of seeking a restraining order against the deal. So I don't think there is any scope left to be litigated in the Indian courts after this judgment, is what my take is. I think they will have to go back to the arbitration tribunal and get clarifications or try to push a case for vacating the emergency arbitrators award by arguing on merits. Or one has to check the Singapore International Arbitration Commercial Rules, or maybe Future Group can probably knock the doors of the Singapore court for vacating this particular order. But I don't think there is any scope left in India now, in light of this judgment from Supreme Court. But I reserve my comments based on what the actual order is, because as you would appreciate, none of us has read the judgment. We just know what the final verdict was.
Okay, Mr. Merchant, thank you so much for joining in and for putting things in perspective. Nentara, as always, thank you so much for joining in.